Wanted to let you guys know we had a tornado warning just a second ago, and we may see another one issued very shortly here as we make our way just south of Danville, south and east of Danville. In my opinion, this should have a tornado warning with it already. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for this area until for another 37 minutes. I think that's going to put us at like 45 after. Rockingham County, North Carolina was in this warning. That's now good. The other warning continues until 1 o'clock, and you can see on the radar we've got a lot of rotation around Milton, North Carolina. Some hail reports are coming in from this area. A lot of green and red here, and a lot of wind that's rotating. And look at all the lightning. Extreme amount of lightning. There are two areas of spin that I'm watching. You've got one right through here. You've got another one down here and further into North Carolina in the Caswell County there. And this is moving on to the northeast. So you folks in Halifax County need to treat this as a tornado warning, even though there's no tornado warning in effect. The severe thunderstorm warning kind of blankets that. I don't know if they've got tornado possible in here or not, but they should have it in there. They don't. They don't issue that. So I'm very surprised. Very irresponsible, in my opinion. There should be a warning out with this. This is why I'm breaking in to show you that. There's also a strong to severe storm in Halifax County, right near Halifax and South Boston. This is more convergence than anything. You're seeing the wind go toward the radar and then away from the radar right along this one line. So these are straight line winds that could be up to about 50 or 60 miles per hour here nearing the Scottsburg area. But the stronger cell is indeed right there over the Virgilina area or right near the county line there. And you can see a couple of areas that are trying to ramp up. So I would anticipate as I'm on the air with you here, we could see a tornado warning issued very soon. We also had one out for this cell that was moving just north of Burlington. That has now weakened. That had a tornado warning out for it, which is since expired, but you can see there in some of the older images. I'll reverse it some there, and you can definitely get an idea right there. You had a very brief but very intense right near Elon College just a few minutes ago. There is a lot of wind in that area. In fact, it was, let's see if we can get it measured here. 76 mile per hour away from the radar, at least from Blacksburg's vantage point, and you had up to 30 miles an hour away from the radar. So some 100 mile per hour shear showing up there. Now that was off of Blacksburg. If we go down to Raleigh, we'll probably get a little bit better idea here. That area is kind of right in the middle of everything here, but we definitely had some very tight rotation. So just scoot through that area. And this was a line of storms that formed this morning and had then kind of bowed on out across the Piedmont, western Piedmont of North Carolina there as it moved out of Greensboro. And then once it moved east of Greensboro, we really got that circulation going on there. So that's a storm that I would still keep a very close eye on as well. So we've got one just east of Greensboro that had rotation with it and a tornado warning a second ago. And then we've got this other one here just around the Danville area that's also got a tornado warning with that. You can see that's northwest Caswell County there. You see the rotation kind of elongated now. We've got two areas that are lining up. You've got one just south of Milton in North Carolina, and you've got a second that's showing up there. We've got a new special weather statement out for, I think, the Roxborough area in North Carolina. So that's Person County. But I would really be eyeing that 360 corridor there coming out of Delilah and Turbeville and Alston into South Boston for the chance of seeing something spin up there. This is a very interesting setup. We've got cool air where the rain's falling, but we've got very warm air out ahead of this setup here, and that's enough circulation within the low-level circulation here that we've got a little miniature low that's kind of riding along a cold front. It's going to bring us some nice weather here in about a day or so. We'll feel some lower humidity coming down here, but in the meantime, yeah, we've got the circulation for sure. And I'm going to check in a second. We'll check some of this debris action and see what's going on there. See if I can get my other monitor up here. There we go. This is off WeatherTap and gives you a few more towns to look at. You can clearly see we've got two main cells here. And again, you've got that really strong one there between Halifax and South Boston there on 49. And then as you move down 360 here, As you move near 158, Yanceyville, Caswell County, Estelle's where the circulation looks like it is, and you can still see a lot of lightning there. It's going to graze Ringgold and graze Laurel Grove in Elmo, but it could be headed toward Dan Ripple and maybe even South Boston if it continues to circulate. We'll watch that very carefully. Pull it up for you now on our severe weather radar. And very high reflectivities here, indicative of more than likely some small hail that's 3/4 of an inch in diameter, at least from what the radar is seeing. Now, that could be making it to the ground, or it may not be, but it's definitely possible with a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. You can also see this other huge cluster of lightning here moving into Elmo, Alton, and Cluster Springs there. And you can see it's right over Milton, North Carolina. We're going to do a little bit of analysis here for you in real time. I'm going to pop up a few panels here as we go, so just give me a quick second here. What we're going to do is we're going to pop some county names on, and we are going to show different things. So there's the radar. Let's give me 1 second here, and what I'm going to do is back the radar up some. This way you can see the earlier tornado warning that was in effect for Burlington, North Carolina. And again, the circulation went very close to Elon, which is a little bit scary, not too long ago. So if we back that up and put the velocity data on, you can definitely see the circulation there. Let me try to get a storm track here for you. So we're going to start it here. And we'll advance it. This is storm relative velocity now, and again, you can clearly see something is going on around Milton, North Carolina. You guys need to be in a safe place. Halifax County, southwest Halifax County, get into the lowest floor of your home and stay away from windows. This is a possible tornado not issued by the National Weather Service. It's being issued by yours truly, because I see enough here to warrant you taking cover in this area. Why there's not a tornado warning, you'd have to ask the folks at the Weather Service, but they do a great job. I don't think they're handling this very wisely. You can also see some possible hail, and either hail or debris that is showing up here. If you look at the actual rotational values, you see numbers that are right in line with what we would expect to see with a tornado. This is just south of Milton. So if we are not seeing a tornado, we're more than likely at least seeing some very strong damaging wind. But this, to me, is anything you need to look at when you're looking at whether or not you need to issue a tornado warning. You've got very strong low level turning with the wind, just in the lowest 1,000 meters, one kilometer up. You've got just a lot of turning with the wind with height. You've got winds coming out of the southeast here, southeast of Danville, and out of the northwest, just outside of town there, you see at the airport. And then your winds aloft are coming in out of the west and out of the southwest. So there is sufficient turning here, and you can definitely see this updraft has encountered that spin, and it will continue to spin along this updraft as long as it has ample circulation that it's able to hold below that updraft, and as long as the entire storm continues to spin in ways that will separate the updraft from the downdraft. I'm looking at other things in the storm that will show me this is possible hail and concentrated rainfall. That's a look at another indicator of hail there. You can see very high levels here, so we may be seeing some hail east of Danville. This is definitely a supercell storm. It has rain out around it, so if you're in Danville proper, it's missing you. And I do think around Providence, North Carolina, than Milton, we could be seeing a tornado. I don't see a really strong evidence, any really strong evidence of debris, but I do see some, at least hail that's reaching the ground. Now, if I switch my radar from here and we go down to the Raleigh site, we may be getting a better idea of what's going on there. So let me pop that up for you real quick, and I'm going to get rid of one thing here. We're going to overlay this rotation, and we're going to take off the mesoscale discussion. So SPC's been watching this too. The Storm Prediction Center agrees, and you can see those two areas where you lose the cranberry color. Where you lose that cranberry color is where we're seeing the strongest storms. So we've got a new cell that's got a severe thunderstorm warning on it that's been issued for this one lead storm here, the lead storm around Halifax and South Boston. This is a new warning that's just been issued. This is out until 1:30 p.m. We had a severe storm right over Halifax, moving northeast at 30. Impact would be hail damage and wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations: South Boston, Halifax, Keysville, Red Oak, Clover, Drakes Branch, and Scottsburg. You want to move in away from windows and treat this as a tornado warning as well, as there is some circulation with it. Stay away from windows. Still not putting a tornado threat in the warning. I thought they would at least do that. That's the reason why they came out with it, but they don't. They're not using it. So you'd have to ask them why they're not using it, but that's why I'm on here for you. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 1 for Caswell, southeastern Pennsylvania, and southwest Halifax counties. Again, this should be a tornado warning. This should have been a tornado warning moments ago. Anyway, the cells over Blanche are near Providence, moving northeast at 25. They're highlighting golf ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. I don't know what else they're looking for to put this warning out, but it's all here. People and animals will be injured. Expect hail damage to roofs, siding, windows, and vehicles. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Danville, South Boston, Yanceyville, Bethel, Halifax, Jericho, and Prospect Hill, including the Danville Airport. Although, if you look right here, I can show you that the airport's getting some heavy rain right now, but the majority of the storm is just outside the city limits of Danville. So if you're traveling outside of Danville, and you're going east of Danville, that's the target area that I'm watching for the next several minutes here, as we'll likely continue to see this area of rotation move on into Virginia. And it may weaken a little bit as it heads into Halifax County, because you've already had that one cell over South Boston itself. And that will be moving probably into Charlotte counties here. So if you live in Charlotte Courthouse on down toward Fort Mitchell and Wallysburg, you may be seeing this severe storm very soon. It may start to spin a little bit as well. You can see it kind of coming together here in more of an elongated fashion, but it may start to line up near the radar. Got a couple of rogue lightning strikes out here too as well. These are what we call bolts from the blue. In the overhang of the storm, you're not seeing a lot of rainfall, but you're seeing this cloud canopy near Virgilina, and we've got some lightning coming down, more than likely straight down out of the top of the cloud there. And that can also be a very underrated killer in some of these severe weather setups. You can see the southeast winds I was telling you about there near Clarksville coming in out of the southeast. And again, you've got wind aloft, even though you can't see it. It's coming in out of the west-southwest. And we've got tree down near Highway 62, Zimmerman Road. So we're getting some confirmed reports of damage from this storm. I don't know if it's straight line winds or what, but the thing is spinning. There's no denying that. It's still spinning. If you look at the storm relative motion there, it's a little bit, maybe a little bit weaker, but not much. So I'll continue to watch that for you. And the cell that was over Burlington now has prompted the Weather Service in Raleigh to issue a flood warning, flash flood warning in effect for this area. And that's up to 2.5 inches of rain has fallen. This will be over at 3 o'clock, so you've got a few more hours of this. This was just issued Alamance, Guilford, Randolph, and Chatham counties in North Carolina. We had up to 2 inches of rain, and 2 inches in another hour would produce some flooding. So that includes the Greensboro, High Point area there through Alamance, Ashboroughs, that area. And I've got a wind damage report coming in out of Greensboro. Multiple large trees blocking Onslow and Northampton Drive. But you can see this one cell there now is still circulating. This, again, was a little bit tighter not too long ago as it was moving across Elon. And now it's getting its act together again, it appears, as it's moving a little bit closer into Caswell counties and Person counties. So Orange County, Person counties, and Caswell counties, and Halifax County. These are the areas I really need to watch out for. I'm not concerned about Pennsylvania County anymore, but I'm very, very concerned about the fact that this storm has a bit of an inflow notch to it. It's got a little bit of a circulation with it still, Lots of thunder, lots of lightning, and multiple reports of damage now coming in. We've got another tree down on 62. Now let's see, on Country Home Road. That is in the path of this circulation, the possible tornado I was telling you about. And again, Weather Service not putting out a tornado warning yet. We'll wait on them to see, because the radar is definitely showing some debris or hail in the skies out across south side, stuff that's not rain. And you can see 3 areas of that. You've got one over Halifax itself. This is that leading storm. You've got 2 down here across this Milton, North Carolina area. That's the big one that I'm really concerned about. And then you've got another one down here across Alamance counties near Burlington. And that continues in a line all the way toward Asheboro, North Carolina, Seagrove, down 220 and down 1 there as you move closer to the South Carolina state line. And that'll take it down to right to the state line, just east of Statesville. We've also got a cluster of damage here that occurred earlier today from the very same storm out across Yadkin County, North Carolina. We've got a tree down on Highway 67. We've got power lines down, Mutton Neal Road, Highway 67. Also, tree down by thunderstorm winds near Hauser Road and Highway 67. Looks like a lot down there near 67 anyway, on Highway 67 in Yadkin County. And also on Rinalda Road. There was also some wind damage in Stokes County, North Carolina from these storms earlier. Got a tree down on Phillips Road there. So seeing lots of reports of trees down with these storms as they continue to march to the north and to the east. And again, they are dangerous storms. Again, this storm in that's nearing Halifax County is going to move across parts of Person County as well. It'll be interesting to see if the Weather Service in Raleigh wants to put a tornado warning out for this or not. I'm thinking they may not unless this tightens back up. It has weakened a little bit. The area of rotation has weakened just a little bit. You can see it earlier, just a few scans ago. It was a little tighter. And this is something we see happen sometimes. Sometimes these areas of rotation will diminish and sometimes they'll pick up again. But no doubt it's a scary setup, really. We've also got this storm down across South Boston that's trying to spin into something. Again, that's going to near Clover and Scottsburg right now, getting a lot of lightning right over Scottsburg. So you want to be away from windows, and even out toward Virgilina where you're not seeing any rainfall yet. Virgilina, Clarksville, you need to be taking shelter from lightning anyway. You're getting some lightning that's falling from the sky here, crashing down from the top of the storm, getting down to the ground. And those can be very powerful lightning strikes, up to 10 times powerful than your normal lightning strikes, as they come out of the top of the clouds, what we call a positive strike. This shows us where the winds are changing within the radar beam, and it can show circulation. So if we treat this as circulation, you would look at this yellow area and give that the center of your circulation. There's also this green hatched area. That's a new product that I've integrated with this radar, and you can kind of see where the winds are spinning or changing, at least within the radar beam's coverage here. So that's going to be, again, moving steadily into southern parts of Halifax County and also into Person County in North Carolina. Here's the regular radar here. We'll put this into motion. We'll widen out a little bit and give you a broad idea of what's going on. Areas to the north and west of this, including most of our area, now just seeing a little bit of rain tapering off. But if you move a little bit closer in the Buckingham and Appomattox counties, we are seeing a heavier storm there that could turn severe for Buckingham and Appomattox counties. You want to be on the lookout here. And the severe threat today with a new severe thunderstorm watch, we have that in effect through this afternoon, extending into Mecklenburg counties, Lunenburg, near Blackstone, out toward the Richmond area, with another round of storms possible in the Roanoke Valley and surrounding areas a little bit later on. You can add Durham to that severe thunderstorm warning as well. It's kind of a blanket severe thunderstorm warning. We'll see if folks in Raleigh, they don't have anything in here either. It's very interesting to see how they're handling this today. But I'm going to go ahead and sign off, but I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. We've got a damaging thunderstorm moving into southern Halifax County with a possible tornado. Not out of the question, folks. It is spinning like a top out here southwest of Cluster Springs. We'll have to watch this area. It's starting to move due east now. That's an indication of rotation as well when they start to turn right. And we've got a new damage report that just came in right in that line A tree down by thunderstorm winds near the intersection of Longs Mill Road and Daniel Dairy Road. So just a continuous report of damage in this thing's path. It's downing trees. Could it be producing a tornado? It could. And again, near Yanceyville, North Carolina, we've got the same thing in place there. So heads up, south side, Halifax counties down toward the Raleigh-Durham area. Be on the lookout for tornadoes into the next 30 minutes to hour and a half. Then it will continue to move this line into the south central Virginia area, nearing the Richmond area before long.